Yo, you know what's crazy? Despite Rell C's releasing very soon, there are still plenty of things that we have no idea about. We don't know about hockey, we don't know about stats, and we don't even know how you get certain items. So, in this video, I wanted to put my own theories out and a couple theories I heard from the community about these certain things. I believe that each one of these have a strong chance of being in the game, so if you're interested, stay tuned and watch. Now, before I get into the video, there's one thing I wanted to mention. I just wanted to say that I'm not 100% informed on everything inside Rell C's or every single Rell C sneak, so maybe some of these were actually addressed already, and if that's the case, please let me know in the comments because I do need to know these things. But I'm just making theories based off of what I know and what the people around me know, so if we're wrong again, let us know in the comments. Also, shout out my boy Atlas because he was the first one to join my Discord server. I will link that in the comments below for anybody else who wants to join. I promise it's worth it. Iruka Imino from Naruto, Usopp from One Piece, the Monte Sabonis on the Sacramento Kings, and Phantom from the AMP group. Why am I saying all these names? Because in my opinion, all these people are underrated. But you know what else is underrated? Hockey and One Piece games on Roblox. Not even underrated. In general, not even represented in some One Piece games. So to start off on hockey, there's a few things that we do know. We know that at least hockey will be on par or even better than Devilfruits. I again find that very hard to picture, but the ROBUX have promised that, so I'm sure they're going to deliver on that. We also know that there's Conqueror's hockey in the game based off of that menu little cutscene. It seems like there's red lightning coming out of the clashes, and we all know that's an indicator of Conqueror's hockey. So Conqueror hockey's in the game, and hockey is going to be on par with Devilfruits for better. Lastly, I saw that there's a spiritual and a willpower stat. We don't know for sure if spiritual or willpower affects your hockey, but I'm assuming willpower at least will, and maybe even spiritual. But we do know that there's two stats in the stat system that could possibly relate to hockey. So the first theory I wanted to discuss was a theory on how you actually get hockey in Rell C's. I have a couple here, but after reading over it, I don't actually approve of a lot of these, so I'm just gonna say the ones that I relate to the best. First one is it could just be a basic quest like GPO where you have to go to a certain area or a certain island and go to a trainer and they will give you quests. This is fine. It's honestly not a bad method and it's kind of realistic to One Piece, but I'm kind of hoping the Railroads are a little bit more creative in that. Another way they do this is that as you increase your willpower stat, your hockey comes out as you're playing the game. So when you get stat points and you add into willpower, you'll see more hockey in your character. Now, a fun way they could do this while still staying in this premise is that each player has a natural affiliation for the 3 different types of hockey, and as they add willpower stats, they actually develop their hockey and that affiliation. So a player with Conqueror's hockey or Armament hockey affiliation adds willpower stats, and as he does that, he notices his hockey coming out. And it's a lot stronger than, someone who has a different affiliation. The last likely theory here is that the ROBUX have created their own hockey system and their own way of obtaining that, which would be very cool. I personally can't picture a new system, but I'm not as creative as the two of them, so I'm sure they could do it. The only thing is people who are, people who want to play like One Piece would be kind of confused if there's a new system that relates nothing to the anime. So there's that argument against that, but it's Roblox, so they can do whatever they want with the game. One more theory on hockey before we move on to the next subject is how strong hockey is going to be. In my opinion, when they say hockey is going to be stronger than Devilfruits, I'm picturing somebody who's mastered all 3 hockeys. I'm assuming they're not going to have someone who's really good at armament hockey stronger than people with Devilfruits. I'm guessing you're going to need to be good at all 3 or at least master 2 of them to compete against Devilfruit users. That would be the most fun and most fair in my opinion, but maybe not. If you guys disagree with that, let me know in the comments. As you know, I'm very open and I love discussing this stuff with you guys. Alright, real quick, before we get into the next subject, I just wanted to show you guys this. Around 98% of my viewers are not subscribed, and it would really help your boy out if you guys just subscribed here because I'm trying to reach the goal of 1K. I'm not gonna force it, but I just wanted to mention this stat. And of course, I'm very grateful for all the views I'm getting, so I'm not complaining really. Okay, this next theory is pretty big. It literally covers the biggest part of the game. I say literally because it is the actual ocean, or specifically the 7 depths of the ocean in Rell C's that was mentioned earlier in a couple sneaks. I believe that this will probably be the biggest source of content in Rell C's. I know there's Devilfruits and there's island clashing, but my theory is that you're gonna actually be playing most of your game in the ocean because there's all these layers with so much potential in them. There's the possibility of unique treasure or loot on every layer. Every layer could have a secret location or a secret area on the map. There's also the possibility of Fishman Island being inside one of these 7 depths. And my assumption here is that the ocean system in Rell C will be the most intricate in the entire game, and this is where you'll be spending, again, a large portion of your time. As for how the system actually works, I believe that, like other YouTubers have said, you are always in the first layer because the first layer is the base ocean, and as you get lower, there's more bosses and loot, and maybe maybe somewhere at the bottom there's Fishman Island there. And knowing the Rell Bros, they're gonna get creative with this, and there's definitely the chance of something like a unique quest inside the game that tells you to go to a certain layer and find a certain thing, or it's a unique quest and it's the way you unlock a new layer, because there's just so much potential here that I really don't think they can squander this. Because if you think about it, this is such a big part of the game, I don't see why they wouldn't force the player to actually interact with this. Not force, but include content and quests where you kind of want to go do this thing, or you want to go in these layers. Side note, if you're a Rell Seas nerd like me and you just want to eat up all the Rell Seas content you can before the game drops, go watch my boy Gibrian's video. He has a couple of theories as well. Some may say it's silly, but it's still fun and it's still Rell Seas content, so if you really want something like that, go over to his channel. Promise you'll enjoy it. Alright, so this next theory is probably the lowest chance of being true, but I just really wanted to talk about this because I did discuss it in the last video, but it's for a short bit, and I really wanted to get in detail about it now. And this is basically like the risky stock that I'm telling you to invest in, because I swear it's gonna hit, but it might not actually, so bear with me. But what I'm talking about is the player cards that we saw in the trailer, or you know, those little skill cards. So my question is, how do we get these cards? Now, one theory that a player brought up to me was that you can get these cards through maybe events or dungeons or just tiny specific activities in the game. This is a very cool idea, and I'm picturing like if you go into a dungeon and you kill a certain boss, you earn a piercing card or piercing player card where you have a higher damage when you strike somebody in your final combo or something cool like that. Or they could do like my friend said, where it's small activities, because I don't know which 2K it was, but there was one where you had to actually do that certain thing, like you had to do that thing in the game. You had to shoot the same exact shot in the same exact way repetitively to earn the actual card or to earn an actual badge for this. I don't think this is the most fun way to do it, but it's definitely a possibility. Now, the most probable way that they're actually going to do this is they have their own unique training system for these cards, which is probably not that hard to think of, or it's RNG and you can just get it from defeating mobs or doing certain tasks, and it might just be like, oh, here you go, here's a card for doing this task. How do we get Devilfruits? That is probably the second most asked question after Conqueror's Hockey. Now, I have a few ideas, and a lot of them, there's a chance that it's a hit or miss. They're all hit or miss pretty much. But the first one is you get them, and this is probably the guaranteed one, but you get them via random spawn somewhere on the map. And I don't know what the spawn rates would be, but I know they said it would be very rare to get a Devilfruit in this game. So I'm assuming the spawn rates are at least going to be slower than box fruits, and maybe even slower than GPO. The certain areas I believe will definitely have a chance of having a Devilfruit are the dungeons or raid areas. I don't even know if there's raid areas in the game, but I'm just calling it that. The ocean, there's got to be like maybe one of the, not the actual ocean, but the layers, like one of the layers might have Devilfruits in them. And then this is a very rare one, but there could be quests that help lead you to Devilfruits. Maybe not like a direct path to one, but it could lead you to certain areas, I guess. This is a stretch, really just a stretch. But for sure, layer deaths and random islands. And then there's also a chance that they could do like crew battles. You get a Devilfruit for crew battles, or you get a Devilfruit for just events in general. Because I know Rell Bros are the masters at live events or in-game events, so maybe one of them, the reward is a Devilfruit. That could be cool. It could be a chance to bring the community together, or a bunch of players in the same server to go fight a boss together with a chance of getting a Devilfruit. And then to end off, what is the strongest fruit in the game? I know I talked about this last game, but that was just off the clips we've seen so far. I thought Hiei was the strongest, but if we're just counting all the fruits in general, it's definitely going to be the Nika or the dragon, or really just any of the mythical zones. And then, you know, there's like the underdogs, like the light fruit or the magma fruit. Okay, it's time to talk about the main thing that everybody wants to know about for this game, Conqueror's Hockey. How do you get Conqueror's Hockey, and how strong is it going to be? Are the main two things you want to know about this ability. Now, I'm pretty sure there are like hundreds of theories on Conqueror's Hockey by now, because if you just look at the theory channels and Discord servers for Rell Seas, it's all about Conqueror's Hockey. And I personally love every single one of these theories, and I believe there's all an equal chance of any one of these happening, but I'm just going to list the ones that I know for sure have a pretty high chance of getting in there. So for starters, we have to mention the willpower and the spiritual stat. Maybe a little bit less on the spiritual stat here and more focused on the willpower. I truly believe willpower will have something to do with Conqueror's Hockey, because hello, it's your will. Conqueror's Hockey is your will, how strong it is. So willpower increasing would probably relate to Conqueror's Hockey. But there's also theories such as RNG affiliation for Conqueror's Hockey. A player creates a character and there's a slight chance that they already have the ability, or that they have the ability to develop Conqueror's Hockey. I also have my own theory about the willpower stat, and that is that each player comes in with a natural limit to how much they can increase their willpower stat. So some people could have like 100 willpower and other people can only have like 70. So everyone has a chance of getting Conqueror's Hockey, but how strong it is or the way you can apply it varies on how high your willpower stat is. For example, people with relatively low Conqueror's Hockey can probably barely use the ability, and they can probably just like at most withstand anybody else who has Conqueror's Hockey so that they won't get stunned and faint. But towards the higher end of Conqueror's Hockey's users, is they can apply it to their weapon, causing that black-red lightning. Or their aura is so strong, like Shank's, where it just knocks out players for, I don't know, probably like 30 seconds or something. Also, how large the area your Conqueror's Hockey affects, I feel like definitely will relate to how high your willpower stat is. Because why else would you have willpower stat, really, if it's not to scale your abilities? Okay, boys, that is all for today and my Rell C's theories. I know today was a little bit of a yap session, but I really just wanted to get this video out there because I believe a lot of people are curious about this stuff just as much as I am. So before I go, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and also join my Discord server, because again, a lot of people are joining it now and I really want to build that community with you guys. You don't have to, but you know, it's there. It'll be in the comments. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Peace.